Hello there, welcome. I hope you're doing well.
Welcome.
Hello, Guy. How are you doing?
Hello, Lauren. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, a little bit puzzled, as I told you before, about the remote working, but not for me
Mm-hmm.
because it's kind of usual thing. But the family remote working is really hectic actually, and it's quite difficult
Tell
to
me about it.
manage. Yeah, it's quite, it's quite. Sorry. Because we all this all is driving me crazy because I don't know how to manage pretty much anything, but we will do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have to. We are proud parents. We
I
went for
got
it. You want it,
yeah,
you got it.
yeah, exactly. The only three words that I would say: fuck the virus. This is what I want to do because yeah,
Thumbs
fuck the
up.
virus. I'm gonna print my new T-shirt. Fuck the virus, patronizing. Anyway, but this
Hmm.
is something new. Anyway, I'll tell you later.
So,
So we got a new topic.
today,
Yeah,
today you had something.
yeah.
So, I'm gonna let you introduce
We
us to the topic of this week.
Yeah, the new topic is about pretty much the global plan, which is answering to your questions. We got several questions coming from different people who usually follow us
Hmm.
on Facebook, on live, on YouTube. We got a YouTube channel for this, isn't it? And it's
Yeah,
amazing.
we
So don't forget to
have
subscribe. Yeah, sorry.
Talking
Say
Studio
it.
Heads. It's on YouTube, Twitter,
Exactly.
and many more. So please give us a blue thumb
Yeah.
and subscribe and hit the bell button on YouTube. That would do us a
So
favor.
you
Thank
won't
you.
miss pretty much anything if you click on those buttons, on the special buttons. So
And
please do this. It's really
we'll
important.
always be here to answer your questions, and we'd love
Exactly.
to do that on video. Every single week.
Exactly.
We'd love to take the time to answer to all of your questions, technical questions, or more artistic questions too, because it's a
Exactly.
very interesting topic for most people in our area. So
Exactly.
you had a few
We got
questions.
we got a few questions to answer, and we want to do it. I think okay. I'm gonna read it straight from the internet. So we got two questions from where are okay I got it. Okay, from Mitch Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the
I
first
know him.
question is, you know it. Okay, the first question is, do either or both of you use a mix engineer to get a final mix down after you've written a song? What about mastering your song? Do you by yourself or have someone else do it? That's really a nice question, actually. So we
You
can
first.
we can answer it. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. About mixing and mastering. Okay, I try to mix my stuff by myself. It's not, honestly, it's not my priority actually. This is my mix sucks sometimes because I think there are different steps in my plan when I try to understand what to do. And my priority is making a track. Okay. After that, I try to what you say to do it step by step. The first one is making a track and let it flow.
Yeah.
The second one is taking sometimes to go outside the track, taking 2 or 3 days off from what you say off from that track,
Mm-hmm.
and then try to focus myself on that track and try to see if I can make it sound a bit cleaner, a bit better. And the third step is, yeah, definitely is mastering. Sometimes I do it by myself. Sometimes I let my master guy do it. You know why? First of all, because my master guy is a master guy, and he does it. His job, you know, and he does it very well because he's got different ears from mine. He's got a different perspective, different eyes, a different way of thinking of a track. I usually stay next to him to understand both to understand what do we want from that track, how to sound, and I love my master guide because he's got a different playground, different a different way of thinking, because he comes from hard rock and or heavy metal stuff, and I love him because it's so different from me, and it's so, and it gives me something different. It's always so rich. It's a kind of richness from everyone of us.
Absolutely.
So first step is making a track. Second, mixing. But trust me, if you pick the right sounds, if you pick the right presets, the right music, I think that mix, it's really important, of course, but mixing is real easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is
That's cool.
my plans when
That's
I try
cool.
to make a track. Yeah. What about
Wow.
yours?
Mine is a lot more simplistic, but to answer Mitch's question, for me, it's historically, the mix has never been that important, because there was always that fight, specifically in the mid 80s, between the techno guys, the Belleville Free, so Derek, Juan, and Kevin, towards mixing engineers and cutters, because they wouldn't understand what they were trying to do. And but everything back then was clearly mono, so it was easier to mix. Now everything is so wide and so stereo that it becomes a whole mess, and
Agree.
I tend to stick to this formula when it comes to mixing things down, because it's not my thing either. The less time I spend on it, the better.
What? I totally agree with you. Agree. The less you do with mixing, the better it is. I mean,
I just stick to the old school rules, and I know that once I get there, the only two things I keep an eye on are the width, depending on the frequency range. So everything that's below 200 hertz is mono in my case. Most of the time. I just tend to, depending on the genre, to add some stereo in the low mid when making electronica and ambient, but everything below 200 hertz should be mono.
It's always a mono.
Anytime. And also keep the low end tight. That's very easy. Sidechain, kick, bass. You have a sidechain. Frequency sidechain is better with a dynamic EQ sometimes. And they use the dynamic EQ to prevent from masking. But once you get to the mid and highs, you can be a lot wider. So it's okay. It's okay. This is a tip I got from a friend, mixing engineer of. Well, a long-time friend of mine, Denis. Hi, by the way. And there is that other thing. So the low end and the width. That's the low end tight. Everything below 200, let's say 100 hertz. That's not kick and bass. You just shove it off. Everything you actually like a razor blade. You have to keep it that way. And everything else, just try it, compare to other records you like, but not that much, because nothing is going to be perfect. And then we go, just like you, to the mastering stage, and I love going to someone else myself, someone who understands my record. So it's as simple as that after all. And I don't think once you have the right sound, like you said, once you have the right sounds and the right inspiration for that day, you just don't pay attention to the mix. It's gonna.
Yeah, you don't have to spend more time on mixing if you got the right sounds, the right presets. Just call it whatever you want. The right music in your head. It's really straightforward.
Yeah, we've come to two times where everything is super formatted. Like, very hard to master, and they make it so hard to master, and you have to get this mix like this or like that. But it's against the rules of the of electronic music. Electronic music wasn't born on these rules. It was born on some rules, of course, but don't get too, well, if I may say, anal about these things, because they are not that important. The music is the message you want to bring to people, not the mix. Not the mix, and there is no perfect mix. So if you stick to that 70-80% rule of a good mix, it's gonna be fine. And I made horrible mixes myself, and I release tracks with horrible mixes.
Me too.
Happens all the time, but it's not that bad, Keep it as a lesson for the next time.
Yeah, so I think that from a percentage point of view, my all the mixes that probably sounded worst has been the better mixes I ever done in my life. Has been the better tracks that I released. It sounds strange or weird, but it is. So anyway, I got another question. I think from Mitch as well. Sorry again, because I got somewhere in my desktop. Okay, I got it. So thanks, Mitch, about that. The other one is, what's the thing that either of you find the hardest to do accomplish when making a track? What's the hardest thing you find when making a track? Do you ever get stuck in a loop or stuck trying to get a sound to sound the way you hear it in your head? Anything that comes up as a frequent obstacle to finishing a track? That's another good question as well. Thank you, Mitch, again. What's the most difficult part of making a track? You know what it is? When I try to find that my track has to follow some rules that are not mine. I try to explain. If you find that your track, just trying to copy other styles or try to make that sound fit in other DJs, this has been an obstacle to me. I mean, the music that I do is the mirror of myself. So do your music and do your sound and do your magic in your studio. You never find an obstacle for your music itself. If I try to think that this music has to be good for anybody else outside or any other DJ or any other producer out there, this is going to be difficult, trust me. I don't want to say some names, but I have requests a couple of years ago saying, please, can you do a remix for this track? And please, can you make it sound like Sasha? And I say, wow, you should ask Sasha to make a track sound like Sasha, not me. As soon as you understand, exactly, as soon as you understand this, and as soon as you realize that you have your identity and you have your sound, you're gonna be a better producer. Actually, you're gonna be a better man. As soon as you realize that beatport is not your priority in your life, you're gonna be a better producer. I just want to say this because many people are saying, okay, your music is not selling a lot on beatport, but trust me, I mean, of course, from a marketing point of view, beatport is really important, but beatport is not your life. You know what I mean? And as soon as you understand this, you become a better man.
Yeah,
that's it. It's kind of simple. So the biggest obstacle for your music is copying the other styles. That's it.
Exactly.
So do your stuff. Be yourself, humbly. And this is the key.
Yeah. That is something that's become quite difficult nowadays because everything is standardized. You have to make it sound like this and like that to please this or that DJ to get on top of. And actually, we've come to the end of this era. With the COVID crisis, every single DJ is around it. I mean,
I know.
They cannot go spread their and there is no difference between a superstar DJ and a bedroom producer anymore. It's over. Exactly. These days are over nowadays because there is a COVID crisis, and before we get out of this crisis, it's gonna take a while. So it's very important, and I would like to stick a bit more to the original topic, though. It's very important, and that's my biggest issue, my biggest hurdle when I compose and when I make stuff, is to get out. Well, I get stuck into my head sometimes with these negative thoughts, because there is so much pressure, external pressure, society.
I know.
Business, bad news that you got, family issues, children, and etc. And all of a sudden you find yourself stuck into your creative process because of that. And that's the biggest hurdle in my case. And specifically when I'm trying to please others, it doesn't cut it. It doesn't cut it.
It doesn't work. Exactly.
Yeah, it works.
I think pleasing the others.
It might work.
It's fake.
But it will not sound as good as your other works. First of all, and secondly, it tends to burn you out a lot more frequently. So it's gonna burn you out, and then we have a big wave of artist burnouts and suicidal thoughts right now, and that's another topic. So we will probably keep it for later.
Sure. Just focus on that.
But just like Guy said, just stick to your creative, to what's on your mind, and if it's simple, well, keep it simple. After all,
keep it simple. And as far as you've been lucky to do music, do yourself a favor and follow your rules, because you are a good producer, not because other DJs or other big DJs will play your music, because it's your music and it makes sense itself. You know what I mean? Nobody cares about what you're doing, or if you follow other people's rules. I think that other big DJs are big DJs, or other big producers are big producers because they are the way they are. That's it. Because they have their identity, and that's it. They have their own sound, and it's perfect the way it is.
Exactly.
And you are perfect the way you are.
Exactly. Just like Guy is perfect. Look at him.
just like Laurent is perfect. And
you've got hair. I don't anymore. You've got hair. I don't anymore.
I think it's not
out of the topic
about hair. So anyway. Okay, sorry. We are quite far from that. Okay, just wrap it up. So the most difficult part of our job is being ourselves, but this is the most difficult part of our society. Try to copy yourselves. Just do yourself, because it's perfect the way you are.
And
that's it.
If I can give one last piece of advice when it comes to being yourself, and when you get stuck, as I said, keep it simple. And if you feel like it's too much, just step back, relax. It's fine. It's gonna come. I remember my friend Brent Sadowick. You probably know him for his YouTube channel, Sadowick Production.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure. I do.
Brent is an amazing guy. He's a big fan of bonsai, by the way, and he said, when I started out, I started with little simple ideas.
Yeah.
That little sentence sums it all up for me. It's little ideas. Keep it simple, and it will come. The simplistic, the most minimalist things will come to life. And I don't know if did you sign? Well, I shouldn't say that, but I sent you something yesterday. Remember?
I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that because I spend my night.
I will tell you guys.
I spend my night with. Okay. I spend my night. Okay, off of topic. I spend my night with Laurent music. Um, I'm speechless every time it happens because this guy. I don't want to say it too much because it sounds so fake sometimes. But trust me, it's the pure reality and the truth. I don't know. I think this guy is from another planet.
No, I'm thinking the
If you
same
do not
of you.
believe aliens, that's yeah. No. I think if you don't believe aliens, this is a real alien. Because I don't know how he does. He sent me not only some tracks in the latest few days, but I think he is able to do up 3 or 4 or 5 tracks in a day.
Nowadays,
Yes,
that's when I'm
saying
that's when I'm in shape. That's when I'm in a good shape,
Yeah.
mental shape, and that's why it's very important.
Yeah, and they are not only one track, one kick, one snare, and that's it. Not at all.
Whole landscapes, yeah.
They are, yes, they are landscapes. There are 5 different words playing. Words becoming something else. They are stories. They are living elements, pulsating elements. They telling stories.
Yeah, just like your stuff, man.
Okay,
After
okay.
all, it's just.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm
thank
just
you.
a bit fast now, but so I've just.
Crazy. Anyway,
I'm just in the middle of doing something, some experiments with just one sample for each production, and that's what it is all about. So more news about this later on, but so
of course.
2 very interesting questions,
Yeah.
and I would
Yeah.
like personally to answer more. I don't know about you, but
Yeah, me too, of
that
course,
makes
I'd
a
love
lot
to.
more
I'd
sense
love
to actually answer to all of your questions. So if you have any,
Yeah, me too. Yeah, of course. Can I tell two small things really quickly? First of all, because we do love questions, and the second is sometimes sending a message that I'm a posh DJ or I'm a posh producer. This is not true. So I'd love to answer your question. Trust me, I'm really a humble person. Laurent knows me personally, so I'm totally okay with that. So send them over, and we all really glad to
we'll
answer.
be very
because
happy
we
to answer
find it
to
really
all of
interesting.
your questions and everything.
Of course.
It's all about
So
spreading
do it.
the good
Do it.
vibes
Send
and the
them over.
message after all. So it's part of the
Exactly.
it's part of the job. So
Totally. So send them over. We are really glad to do it.
thank you guys for your time.
Thank
So
you,
if you like
Laurent.
this video, please leave a comment, blue thumb, subscribe,
yeah, exactly.
bell button, etc., and share it eventually.
Thank
that
you.
would be awesome. And see you
Thank
next
you.
week, same place,
Exactly.
on Talking Studio Heads
time.
for another interesting and passionate topic. See you next week,
Thank
guys.
you. Ciao,
ciao.
Thank you, guys. Cheers. Ciao.